man of highly developed moral sensitivity. This is the man of ethical stature. And he is the chacham that the Navi is telling does not dare take any pride whatsoever in his chachma, in his moral sensitivities. Why not? Well, Rambam tells us that moral attainments are really of a purely circumstantial value. Because after all, if a man would live in an isolated island, would he have any need whatsoever to know about how to get along with people? Would he have a need to know how to deal justly or with humility? So Rambam tells us these are of only a circumstantial value. And because they are of only a circumstantial value, they are only a means to an end, therefore they are equated with the other two. So that Yirmiyahu Hanavi is equating the man of moral sensitivities with a man who's working out in the Y and the one who's accumulating Swiss francs. All three of these men, the man working out in the Y, the one accumulating the Swiss francs, and the one who is involved in his moral sensitivities, all three of these are dealing with means rather than end, the end being one and only one thing, which is Haskell the Adola Osi, to achieve the knowledge of the vanished level. Now, at this point, what Rambam has written may seem a bit crass, but one thing Rambam could certainly not be accused of, and that is inconsistency. Because, after all, how did Rambam always explain the reasons for mitzvahs? Whenever Rambam wanted to give us a reason for mitzvahs, he showed us how mitzvahs serve our own mundane interests. And having explained the reasons for mitzvahs in terms of how they serve our mundane interests, it is 100% consistent to say afterwards that they are a means, as are physical fitness and economic well-being. And Rambam tells us to quote what was Chazal say. Chazal say, Rambam says, quoting Gracious Rabbah, Kol chapatzai lo yishvu bo, kol chapatzecha lo yishvu bo, ela bezois yisalo l'mishalel haskel v'yadei oisei. Gracious Rabbah says, let no man think that chapatzecha are where we're at. Your things are not where it's at. My things are not where it's at. Gracious Rabbah says, what does this pasuk mean? Your things are not where it's at. Avanim taivas u margolias. Swiss francs. My things are not where it's at. It's the sumastim toven. These are also not where it is at. Elo, says the Medrash, Haskel v'yadoa osi. What is where it's at? What is the purpose? These, the mitzvahs and the ma'asim toven, like the Swiss francs, are means rather than end, and the end is Haskel v'yadoa osi. Rambam says, look, just like I got through saying ethics shemetics, seems that there's a mafurish shemedrash saying mitzvahs shemitzvahs. There's only one thing, and that is Haskel v'yadoa osi. I would never, ever be so arrogant to say somebody has got to listen to me. But what I would say is this: if anybody has listened to me until now and stops at this point, he will leave me guilty of very, very seriously misleading them. So, if you did not listen until now, well, continue to not listen. However, should anyone have listened until now, let this not be the point at which you choose to tune out. Okay? To do so would leave me responsible for very, very seriously misleading you. Okay? So Rambam continues, and Rambam says this. Let's move further with this pasuk. Rambam says, Haskel v'yadoa osi. Then Yirmiyahu Hanavi continues. Why Haskel v'yadoa osi? What's the reason to attain knowledge of the Rebbeinu, divine knowledge? So Rambam continues, and Rambam says, Yirmiyahu Hanavi does not offer three reasons. Listen to the three things which Yirmiyahu Hanavi does not choose as reasons to attain knowledge of the Rebbeinu. A, not in order to enable you to understand God's incorporeality. B, not in order to enable you to understand the Rebbeinu uniqueness, nor indeed to enable you to understand the Rebbeinu unity. Okay? He says, take note. Yirmiyahu Hanavi does not list as his reasons for achieving a knowledge of God three things. It is not in order to understand that he is not a Balguf, that he's incorporeal. It is not in order to understand his unity, nor indeed is it in order to understand his uniqueness. Now, what do these three ideas have in common? Rebbeinu incorporeality, his unity, and his uniqueness. What do these three ideas have in common? What they have in common is that these are the three ideas that took up the most space in this particular magnificent work from Mori Nebuchadnezzar. He says, look, he's not saying that the purpose of achieving a knowledge of the Rebbeinu is in order to allow you to go into competition with me and write another Mori Nebuchadnezzar. That's not why you're supposed to achieve Haskel v'Yadoa Ozi. Why then does Yirmiyahu Hanavi say that you should achieve a knowledge of the Rebbeinu Shalom? Haskel v'Yadoa Ozi. Why? Ki ani Hashem eiseh chesed mishpat u'tzedakah ba'aretz ki ba'elech hafatzti navun Hashem. Understand the knowledge of the Rebbeinu Shalom because the Rebbeinu Shalom's desire is to see this world filled with chesed, mishpat, and tzedakah. Ki ba'elech hafatzti navun Hashem. These are what I desire. Look at what Rambam has done over here. He seems to be interested not only in contradicting himself, but in framing Yirmiyahu Hanavi with the same crime. Look what Yirmiyahu Hanavi does according to Rambam. He begins over here by saying, look, don't get carried away with ethical achievements. What are ethical achievements? There's nothing but circumstantial value. They're only a means. Economic well-being, physical fitness, and ethical sensitivity are the means for achieving a knowledge of the Rebbeinu. That's all ethics are about. It's simply the means for achieving knowledge of the Rebbeinu, just like the physical fitness and economic well-being. Then the second half of the pasuk says, knowledge of the Rebbeinu. What do you think that's for? Only for one purpose. That you can have certain ethical achievements. Chesed, mishpat, tzedakah. What's going on over here? Pasuk begins by saying, ethics. Who needs them? The most they could ever be is a means. Not only a means, but a means in the same mundane sense that physical fitness is a means, and that economic well-being is a means. The end of the pasuk is, what is Haskel v'Yadoa Ozi for? It's only for one thing. Not in order for you to achieve the most lucid conceptual appreciation of the Rebbeinu Shalom conceivable to the extent that you might be able to go and write a Mari Nebuchadnezzar, and that's not what it's for. Haskel v'Yadoa Ozi has a very, very specific purpose. Ki ani Hashem eiseh chesed mishpat tzedakah ba'aretz. What is this? What Rambam is telling us is that these ethical laws exist on two very, very separate levels. Rambam tells us, first of all, the pursuit and the practice of justice and goodness and fairness and even conduct with humility are the only means by which our little planet can function. They're the Taiva HaGdeilah Shishpia HaKadosh Baruch Hu. These are the great benefits that the Rebbeinu Shalom emanated to this world that enable us to exist with any degree of order and stability in our society. These are the indispensable preconditions. But Rambam says, when you're performing the mitzvah on that level, which is the level in which Rambam himself has explained mitzvahs, specifically how they serve our own interests, specifically our mundane interests, fine, you're obligated to do it. But bear in mind one thing, performance of the mitzvah at that level is no greater achievement than working out at the Y and accumulating Swiss francs. It can only be a means only a means which can allow you to achieve Haskel v'yadoa oseh. But, says Rambam, there's something far, far greater. Once Haskel v'yadoa oseh is achieved, once there's an awareness and an alertness and a sensitivity to the Rebbeinu Shalom's essence as an ongoing performer of chesed, mishpat, and tzedakah, then we are liberated from pursuing self-interest, however enlightened. Then there could flow out of us a chesed, mishpat, and tzedakah, not because of the fact that they serve our interests, but because of the fact that they express our ideals. At this point, Rambam evokes, right after this chesed, mishpat, and tzedakah, the mitzvah of v'halach v'dracha, be like the Rebbeinu Shalom. In other words, now we're talking about integrate our consciousness with the Rebbeinu Shalom, connecting our consciousness to the flow, to the shefa of the Rebbeinu Shalom. He who is very conscious of the fact that his every breath of air, with every heartbeat, an expression of the Rebbeinu Shalom's chesed, the Rebbeinu Shalom's tzedakah, that what happens on earth is the Rebbeinu Shalom's mishpat. He who is sensitive to all of this, flowing out of him will be the chesed, the mishpat, the tzedakah, which is not done because it is the smart thing, but because it is the right thing. Let us take a look now at what Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to Yisro about. Standing in front of Yisro and Moshe Rabbeinu, the long, long line of people. There's one fellow who's embroiled in a fight with his grocery store owner. Another one screaming at his mother-in-law. Another one fighting over whether the shirt was properly laundered, he whom he has paid to launder it. And Yisrael turns to Moshe Rabbeinu and says to him, Moshe Rabbeinu, what do you see in front of you? So Moshe Rabbeinu says to Yisrael, Ki yavei elai ha'am lidrei shalakim. This is a people in search of the Rebbeinu Shalom's truth. Says Yisro, that's not what's happening here. No, Moshe, that's not happening. That's not what you have in front of you. Moshe, do you know what you have in front of you? Chaos. This is what you have in front of you. You may think in terms of your own personal experience that everything you look at is in terms of Lidrei Shesalakim, to look for that truth which the Rebbeinu Shalom expresses in every area of life, or wants expressed in every area of life. But no, Moshe, that's not what's happening in front of you at this particular moment. What Yisrael is telling Moshe is that there is first a chesed, mishpat, tzedakah, which is simply to assure to it that society exists in something other than a state of chaos. And to show that this is indeed the dialogue between Moshe Rabbeinu and Yisrael, let us take a look at a fascinating deal made by Chassam Sofer. And you'll see that the dialogue between Moshe Rabbeinu and Yisro did not end then, but continues to this very day. He says when Moshe Rabbeinu talks about which cases will reach him, they talk about setting up a judicial system with different levels, what does Moshe Rabbeinu say? Hadover HaKosher, the complex matter will reach me. What does Yisro say? Hadover HaGodel, the large amount will reach me. Everybody knows that in Goyish courts, there's an institution called the Small Claims Court. The idea being that smaller sums of money require lesser judicial expertise. This is a tradition going back to the times of Yisro. Whenever you see a small claims court, you should not think that this was a contrived, modern innovation. It has deep roots in history. It goes all the way back to Yisro. Yisro, too, was of the misguided opinion that tiny sums of money require tiny quantities of Torah Chachma. Moshe Rabbeinu was focused in a very, very different way. He said that's not the way it works. Dover HaKosher, the more complex the matter is, the more likely it is that there's going to be a miscarriage of justice. Injustice has nothing in this world to do with the size of money. You have Yisro, for instance, thought that if there's a multinational corporation involved in a case to be adjudicated, multinational corporations should be adjudicated by Moshe Rabbeinu. Grocers should go to the neighborhood business. No. Moshe Rabbeinu says that's not the way it works. There's a simple case. There's no enormous halachic complexities involved in a adjudication between multinationals. It doesn't matter if it could be handled by the neighborhood president. If, on the other hand, there's a case involving tremendous halachic complexity between a grocer and his customer, that's going to go all the way up to Moshe Rabbeinu. Yisrael speaks over here about instituting a judicial system for one and only one reason, that there not be chaos, there should be yasher, hazeh, and that there should be basic order. And in this level of simply instituting order, there's nothing wrong with a Moshe Rabbeinu learning from a guy. In terms of the custom of how to make things work, nothing in the world wrong with seeing how Goyim make things work and in doing that yourself, if you are still at the level of simply striving to rise above chaos. However, once there is a certain degree of judicial order, something else happens. Then we have room for a haskel v'yadoah. Then you have Maimad Har Sinai. After Maimad Har Sinai, then you're dealing with something else. The sovereign comes preceded by one set of soldiers and succeeded by a different set of soldiers. The first set of soldiers is to set the stage. There, of course, there is room for a Moshe Rabbeinu to learn from a Yisrael. Once there is haskel v'yadoah, then we go to Mishpatim, lo yasachem l'chol goy, and Mishpatim bal yidohu. When Chazal tell us that the Goy's rejection of Torah was expressed not with impatience, with Pesach dishes, but instead with loisirza and loisigno, what they were telling us was that the most the Goyim were able to understand was the Yisrael level, that which precedes Torah. That too is true. It is an indispensable precondition. Eliminating chaos, establishing order, that too is part of Torah. And that is an indispensable precondition for reaching up to the haskel v'yadoah. It is only a means, but it happens to be an indispensable means at the level which has to be done. And this, for this reason that Yisrael turns out correct and has a parsha named for himself. Goyim wanted to remain with that particular level, never understand that the losigno, which is an expression of Maimad Har Sinai, haskel v'yadoah, therein lies the Goy's real rejection of Torah. So for this reason, Chazal tell us that Maimad Har Sinai came preceded by one set of soldiers, succeeded by a different set of soldiers. Preceded by those that are first to establish basic order, succeeded by those that actually establish and express the new order. Let us now look at something else here, right before Parshas Yisrael. Rambam, Yisrael Torah, 7th Perek, tells us it's one of the fundamentals in Judaism to know that the Rebbeinu Shalom graces men with prophecy. And Rambam goes on and tells us what is the essence of Nebuah. And Nebuah Chola al Chacham Gadol B'Chacham or Divrei Midaisov Lo Yehei Yisrael Misgaber V'Lov V'Davar Ba'olam Elohu Misgaber V'Daitar Yisrael Tamid tells us that the man who is worthy of Nebuah is a man who is not controlled by his passions. To the contrary, as he was in total control of all of his drives. A man who has freed himself from the trivia that monopolize the attentions and energies of others, and he is focused exclusively on the ultimate truths of the Rebbeinu Shalom and his presence on this earth. tshuva tachas hakisei, v'hovin bosim hatzuvas hakdoshas ha'tahaylis. His mind is focused on the loftiest essences, the malachim. Mistakel b'chachmasei shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu kula. He knows of the wisdom of the Rebbeinu Shem as it is expressed in the highest essence, that malach which is furthest from the level of mundane creatures, as Tibur ha'aretz, for those that are in the very bowels of the land, the Yodei Mehen Gadol, and from all of the Rebbeinu Shem's creatures, from the highest malach down to the lowliest insect, Miyad Ruach HaKodesh Sheil Allah. Someone who was so exclusively focused and his stature was so enormous, who was Polish, and his life has become so totally distinct as to live in the dimension of paradise. Rambam tells us that this man, Miyad Ruach HaKodesh Sheil Allah. Rambam then moves on, and Rambam tells us that Nebuah, like wisdom, comes in very, very different levels. He tells us that it's that is experienced through a total collapse of the sensory perceptions, the physical faculties. After this collapse of the physical faculties and the sensory perceptions, his consciousness is assimilated into that realm in which the malachim exist. And then Rambam tells us, continues and tells us that Nebuah is always in the form of a metaphor or a riddle. And he tells us that Nevi'im must always experience joy in order to achieve Nebuah. Fine. The above was said in order to set up the contrast between conventional Nebuah and the unique Nebuah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now let us focus more sharply. It is here that we are coming into the purpose, which is a little more understanding about Matan Torah. Kol hadvarim she'amarnu hem derech nevuah l'chol hanavim harishonim v'achronim chutz mi-Moshe Rabbeinu rabim shel hanavim. The above is true of Nevi'im other than Moshe Rabbeinu. U'ma hefrei sheyesh ben nevuas Moshe l'shar kol hanavim. What difference is there between the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu and the nevuah of everyone else? First, says Rambam, Kol Hanavim al Yedei Malach. All other Nevi'im achieve their nevuah through the agency of an angel, a Malach. Therefore, they see their nevuah as a metaphor, a riddle. Moshe Rabbeinu lo al Yedei Malach shenemar peh el peh atav dervo. V'nemar v'dibar Hashem al Moshe panim el panim. Rambam says Moshe does not achieve his nevuah through the agency of a malach, but through the direct. And therefore, his nevuah is clear, not through a metaphor. Let's restate this again. Rambam has written out two differences between the nevuah of Moshe and all other ones. First of all of the other Nevi'im are b'chalom or b'mareh. All the other Nevi'im see theirs in a chalom u'mareh, who erva omed, and the other Nevi'im see their nevuah, they achieve it through a malach, therefore it is a metaphor. Conversely, Moshe is direct from the Rebbeinu Shalom, therefore it is not a metaphor. And I see what his puzzling faces here is, what is the therefore? What does one thing have to do with the other? Listen to what Rambam just got through saying. Because of the fact that their nevuah is through a malach, therefore it is conveyed through metaphor. Moshe Rabbeinu, conversely, is straight from the Rebbeinu Shalom, therefore there is no metaphor, there is no riddle, there is nothing to be solved. What does it mean? What is the therefore? How does one follow from the next? Because of the fact that their nevuah is from a malach, therefore the nevuah is in a metaphor. Moshe's nevuah is straight from the Rebbeinu Shalom, therefore no metaphor, no riddle, nothing to be solved, nothing to be interpreted. What does this mean? What does this mean? Right? Rambam comes, he tells us the other Nevi'im have the Nebuah, the prophecy, through the agency of an angel. Therefore, it is a riddle, a metaphor, chida, mashal. It's something that has to be interpreted, the riddle, the metaphor. Moshe is not through a malach, it's direct from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Therefore, conversely, his is no metaphor, elavoya albuya. He sees the truth as it is. What does one have to do with the other? Rambam tells us in the book of the rule, there is no such thing in this world that someone is walking along the street and meets a malach. No such thing. Whenever you read in the tale that somebody spoke to a malach or encountered a malach, what happened was, it was in the course of prophecy. The man was in a nebuah, and at that point he was in a state of communication with a malach. It doesn't exist, Rambam says quite clearly. There's no such thing as a person walking on the street and meeting a malach, talking a malach, hearing from a malach. It does not exist. Forget it. There is no such thing. In a state of nebuah, it is in that state alone that man can come into a state of communication with a malach. What Rambam is telling us is the following. Rambam is saying that how is this communication with a malach achieved? There's a collapse of the physical faculties and the sensory perceptions. And after going through the collapse of the physical faculties and sensory perceptions, Nisarev Nafsho, the Malach HaMalachim, he exists in that world in which the Malachim are. In other words, he is now in a realm in which there is no such thing as language, verbal formulation. His sensory perception shaped consciousness, therefore, receives that truth from the Rebbeinu Shalom through the Malach in a realm in which there is no such thing as verbal formulation or language. Therefore, his language-shaped consciousness must give verbal form to the Nebuah. It is the nature of the consciousness in which he receives his Nebuah that means that the Nebuah needs interpretation. Moshe Rabbeinu, on the other hand, does not go through this collapse of physical faculties and sensory perceptions. When Moshe Rabbeinu tells you that tefillin are square and black, you should know one thing. It's not that his sensory perception shaped consciousness expressed a certain truth from a different realm in the form of square and black. No. Don't think that he received his nebuah in a dimension in which there is no such thing as square and no such thing as black. When Moshe Rabbeinu achieved his nebuah, he felt the earth beneath his feet, he saw the sky above, and he felt the wind blowing in his hair. And when Moshe Rabbeinu says black, he was living in a world of black. He says square, living in a world of square. He says that an esrog is this, an esrog is that. It does not mean that there was a certain truth which the Rebbeinu Shalom told him, which his sensory perception shaped consciousness understood and gave form to in the shape of an esrog. That's not what happens. It requires no interpretation. He is erva omer. He is in this world. Havei omer simplifies this by saying the following: with all of the other Nevi'im, the Navi went to the Nebuah. His consciousness had to go into a different realm, a realm in which it did not exist, the type of mitzvahs and things that we live with every day. The other Nevi'im went to the Nebuah. With Moshe Rabbeinu, it was the Nebuah that went to him, that went to where he was, living in this world, standing here, feeling the earth beneath his feet, the sky above, feeling the wind blowing in his hair. It was in that consciousness that he told us that a created Haggadah is an Ezra, which he told us that there was a Lulav. And for this reason, when Moshe Rabbeinu transmits to us, he is not giving us that verbal formulation which he gives to a truth he achieved in a world in which there is no verbal formulation. Rather than to support this, as Pasha Pshat in Rambam, the words of the Rambam himself, listen to Rambam explaining in Meir Nevuchim, Maimer Hasina. two dibros were heard by all of Klal Yisrael. The entire Jewish people heard Klal Yisrael. The created word out of which they understood the spoken word. There was something out of which they understood the spoken word. And Rambam says that's the meaning of the pasuk that Chazal quotes to tell us what happened at Mount Sinai. What did Chazal tell us? Nafshi yatsa v'dabro. My soul left me when I heard. Why? Tisariv nafsham b'malach hamalachim. Klal Yisrael at Mount Sinai experienced nevuah. Hakoil hashemimeno huvan hadibor. Emanated to them was a nevuah out of which they understood. They get their nevuah in a realm in which there does not exist precise verbal formulation or language at all, and out of that they understand in the terms of a sensory perception-shaped consciousness, a language-shaped consciousness. That nevuah is that which made their neshamas leave them. What was Moshe Rabbeinu's role in reference to the first two dibros? Did Moshe Rabbeinu have no role in reference to the first two dibros? No, tells us Rambam. Listen to what they needed Moshe Rabbeinu for in reference to the first two dibros. V'chol Yisrael, he says, HaKol Asher Hisig, that there was a voice out of which they understood. V'hishmiyei Moshe Ezeh, B'milim, V'chituch Osios Hanishma'os. What did they need Moshe Rabbeinu for? There was one thing that Moshe was alone was able to tell the people, and that is those two truths that were given in the first two dibros. Moshe alone knows what specific verbal formulation of Ben Shalom will that they take. There was the Kol Asher Mimenu Huvan Hadibor. They heard the emanation out of which they understood the truths of Anochi and Lo Yihye Lecha. But those truths still are on the level of what? Mashal V'chida. They require interpretation. Those truths were absorbed in a realm in which it does not exist verbal formulation, and it is their language-shaped consciousness which gives it a verbal formulation. But there is one and only one Navi who was able to say what the Ben Shalom willed as the specific verbal formulation of those truths. Yishmiyei Moshe Ezeh B'milum V'chituch Osios Hanishma'os. He was the only one that could tell them specifically what words, what letters, definitely every vav, every yud, exactly what it was that the Ben Shalom willed. Let's just finish at the end of the halacha. Kol hanavim yireim v'nivholim v'nismeik again. Moshe Rabbeinu Eino Kain. Another distinction between Moshe Rabbeinu's nevuah and everyone else's is that all of the others are almost paralyzed by fright. Moshe Rabbeinu is not so. If you listen to it, to the dibur of the Ben Shalom, as one listens to another man. Kol hanavim eino misnabim b'chol eis sheyirtzu. The other Nevi'im cannot experience nevuah at their leisure, anytime they want. Moshe Rabbeinu Eino Kain, calls man sheyachdes ruach hakodesh le'kshosa. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to achieve nevuah whenever he wanted. Nevuah shevalo beinu tzarich l'chavim da'afei. Moshe Rabbeinu does not have to focus his mind. All the other Nevi'im, in order to achieve nevuah, Rambam has told us they've got to go ahead and focus themselves. He doesn't have to focus himself. He's standing there. He's already focused like Malachei Hashonis. He can say with easy confidence, stay here, I'll get the word from the Ben Shalom. From here we know that all the other Nevi'im, while not in a state of nevuah, live a normal mundane existence. Not so Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was alienated from then and on from his mundane existence. Moshe Rabbeinu did not go back to that type of existence. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu did not live together with his wife. He was also not part of other normal, mundane, day in, day out life. The Yikshu Adato, the Tzur Ivanis. From then on, that Moshe Rabbeinu was attached permanently to the Benishlam, the Mistalek, the Olam, the Karan Arpana, and his Kedek,